All right, what up? Leonidas here. And in this video, we're going to talk about brand bidding within Google Ads. So, very quickly, I'm going to cover the rules to follow and the exceptions that sometimes you don't need to follow, especially when you're brand bidding Google Ads, because there are certain legal things you want to avoid, as well as in some circumstances, you can brand bid however you want. But these are really important rules that you need to follow. Next, we have expectations. So, what should you expect when you do brand bidding? In some cases, it works wonderfully. In other cases, you just need to expect that it might not work for you depending on what you're running. So, we're going to have to set some expectations. And then we're going to go ahead and dive right in by generating some lists using some tools that I like to use for generating branded terms. And then I'll show you some lists or like potential sources where you can buy lists for brand bidding as well. And then we're simply going to cover the advanced re-import strategy. So this is a more automated strategy as far as generating not only branded terms, but even generic search terms in general. But I'll explain to you why we put it into the branded bidding topic in this case. This is simply just going to be a primer tutorial because later on in a future tutorial, we're going to cover how to set it up and then finally a review. So let's dive right in. Firstly, rules to follow. Number one, when you run branded bidding keywords, do not use keyword insertion. Okay, so for legal reasons, you do not want to misrepresent your ads as being that specific company. Okay, so for example, if you're running pest control, the last thing you want to do is say that you are X pest control in the ad copy. This is a very bad idea. This is a great way for you to get sued, or for whoever you're running the traffic to will get sued as well. So this is the last thing you want to do. And to once again clarify, do not insert the brand name into your ad unless, of course, you want to, number one, get banned on Google Ads for misrepresentation. So nowadays they use AI very aggressively to filter out any kind of nonsense like that. And number two is obviously a great way to avoid getting sued by large companies. Maybe you're in a different country altogether and not a big deal for you, but what happens is you will get sued and then you will eventually get blacklisted within the industry as well. So avoid using brand names in your ad copy, but there are exceptions. Okay, so this is just advice from my own affiliate manager that I run traffic to. You can run particular product names in your ads. So for example, product name repair. So let's say they need to fix their Samsung washing machine. So you can actually bid on Samsung washing machine repair. This is not a problem. Or Samsung phone repair or whatever else. You can bid on those search terms. But for obvious reasons, you can't say that you are Samsung providing Samsung services, right? So you can't say Samsung repair, because this is the kind of the nuances of the game. But you can say you are Samsung water heater repair, but you can't say that you are Samsung, right? Very simple. So try to avoid the brand name in the context of saying that you are the brand, but you can say that you are fixing those particular brands in general. And then as far as expectations, expect a low ad relevance score. So I'm actually going to show you into one of my accounts what low ad relevance scores as far as in the brand bidding is concerned. So unless you have the keyword that you're specifically bidding on in your ad, you're going to get a low relevance score. This doesn't mean you're not going to get clicks. You can still get clicks on your ads if you're brand bidding. This is essentially the strategy that I'm going to show to you, but you have to make your ad as generic as possible and to make it more enticing than the company that you're essentially bidding on. And also expect that if you are brand bidding and you do somehow manage to get the top position, the number one position, this can actually be counterintuitive and not work towards your direction, because some people just click on the very first thing they see and they expect that to be the company that they're trying to call, and you're going to get a lot of customer service calls, right? Billing calls, misdialed calls. They're even looking for a quote, but they were expecting the company that they were looking for to be the first result, and they end up clicking on it and they end up getting something completely different than what they expected, or they're getting the within the niche that they're expecting, but it could be a different company altogether. So they're going to say, oh, sorry, I was looking for this other company, and then they hang up. So without further ado, let's go ahead. And the first thing I'm going to show you is low ad relevance score ads, just to give you a quick primer on what it's going to look like within your ad, within your account itself. All right, so here is one of my accounts where